Welcome in, nerds, and this week I want to talk about motivation. And obviously, I know this is something that I talk about on a regular basis, but I think there's something specifically I wanted to talk about it because it's something that I'm dealing with personally. There's a lot of things you can be able to do to keep yourself motivated in your endeavors, whether it be artistic or not, or whatever you're doing. But I think that there's another part of it of motivating yourself to achieve your goals. And then once those goals are completed, to motivate yourself to create new ones or chase other avenues. We're constantly trying to achieve so many different goals now because there's like this macro goal. Everybody wants to do this macro goal, but because it's getting harder and harder to achieve so many things that people want, they have to resort to micro goals, which are completely fine. And honestly, I think is a better way to be able to go about life because you can create a bunch of micro goals that lead to a macro goal. And not necessarily always have to be looking at that macro goal, although inevitably it is your North Star. But what I'm talking about specifically is like you plan something, you do something, and then it happens, it's a success, and then you turn around and go, now what? And this is something that I'm dealing with currently, which I'm finding ways to be able to kind of deal with it in a sense. But what I'm specifically talking about is if you know me, or if you know anybody that I know, you know that every year 561 Music, the podcast, they put on the 561 Music Festival. Over this last year, I took over the booking for the podcast. So everybody that comes on the podcast, I'm the one that books it. So when I got more involved with 561 Music and the festival started to come up, we were sitting there just chatting, Hector and I, and we heard that Sunfest, which has been an institution for 40 years in Palm Beach County and is traditionally on the first weekend of May, decided that they weren't going to do it this year. The amphitheater where they do it is now available. So Hector's like, should I just apply and see what happens? And he did. And what happened was the 561 Music Festival. We got approved, and then the next couple months was just like pure insanity, trying to get everything together, trying to figure out all these things. And Hector did an incredible job navigating all of the legal BS that we had to go through, dealing with all this extra stuff that he's never done before. And the team for 561 Music, Ben, Justin, James, all the outside crew, Kelly, Kim from Stage Mom, so many different people helping out to be able to make this a big thing. And the Palm Beach Post wrote an incredible article, and I'm gonna bring it up real quick. It's so bright. The first line of this thing, local bands rock. That was the overwhelming consensus from hundreds of people who attended Saturday's 561 Music Festival on a weekend previously reserved for Sunfest, which after 42 years is no longer a part of West Palm Beach annual calendar. We were stepping into the shoes of a massive festival that has a long lineage. It was absolutely insane. Diaz, which is Hector, expected at least 1,500 attendees to enjoy performances from 20 bands that started at 11 a.m. We got way more than 1,500, by the way. And they also got a quote from the prevailing sponsor, which is Snyder Green and Finer, and I can't thank them enough for helping us put the whole entire thing together. But one of the things they said when they were asked is that these local artists are so talented, we wanted to support their cause and give them a platform, which is exactly, I'm going to get off of this because it's so damn bright, which is exactly what 561 Music is supposed to do. Is we're supposed to highlight the local acts that are in our town in order to be able to give them a larger platform and essentially show people in the area that there's so many incredible bands making original music and artists making original music and artists making original art right in our backyard, that we don't always have to go to the internet. We don't always have to go to Spotify. We don't always have to go to the same concerts over and over again. You can be able to go to concerts on a regular basis of all these great bands. And we're hoping to be able to turn that culture around. So we do this. The festival is almost flawless. We are on time. Everybody's loving it. Everybody is enjoying themselves. Food trucks, art vendors, the whole entire nine. We're walking around. Everybody's coming up to us, man, I can't believe what you guys did. This is incredible. Blah, 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 blah. We're so happy to be a part of this. And I'll be honest, it was one of the most proud moments of my entire career. Being able to stand there as these local bands took over this storied date that Sunfest used to be on and see almost 3,000 people come out and hang out for local bands was mind-blowing. It was absolutely mind-blowing. And there was a moment when Fuacata was playing and I was managing the main stage. Justin was on the Thunderhouse stage, which also, Thunderhouse sound, incredible job. Can't thank them enough as well. And Fwacata was playing on my stage, and across the way, I could see the Shakers from Fort Lauderdale. They're setting up, or they had set up, done their line check, and they're waiting for Fwacata to finish. Because the way that we were doing it was one band would play, and then the other band, as soon as this band would finish, the other band would start. So from 11 a.m. until 10 o'clock at night, or 9:30 at night, we had music going, live music, constantly. There was one moment we had a little bit of technical issue where house music played for a second, and Hector came across the walkies and said, "Please kill the fake music," which is funny. So I'm sitting there on the stage and I'm watching Fwacata play, and they say something to the Shakers over there, and I see the Shakers fist pumping them on and everything like that, and there was just this moment of just continuity between the local bands and the fans are looking back, and they're watching the Shakers cheer on Fwacata, and it was just a moment where I was like, wow, we did it. Like, this is exactly the kind of thing, this is exactly the kind of community situation that we were trying to create from the beginning. Well, they were trying to create, I was trying to create separately, and then now I have joined with 561 Music. I assume everybody sort of knows that by now. So I'm watching this happen, and I just keep thinking to myself, God, this is it. This is exactly the kind of shit that we have been trying to do for so long. It felt like we took a huge step in the right direction. Festival ends, everybody's hugging each other. We can't believe we did it. Long days. Very, very long days. Not to mention all of the planning prior. Hours and hours of phone calls between Hector and I, trying to make sure that all of the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. Di's are odded? Di's. Anyways, long days of setting up and breaking down and everything like that. So I took Sunday to be able to do nothing. And then Monday comes along, and Hector and I had joked because we had been on the phone together for about 2 hours almost every day for the last 3 months or 2 months prior. And we're joking what are we going to do on Monday? And we wound up, I texted him, asking him a question. He texts back, finally the phone rings, it's Hector. And we proceeded to have a hour or 90-minute phone call, just like old times. Essentially just recapping the festival and everything like that. But nothing really else we could plan for, because until we figure out whether the city's going to have 561 Music back for next year, there's really not much to plan for. So the next morning I wake up, and for the first time in months, I felt useless. We had just done something that was so incredible, and we had put something together that benefited so many people, and that benefited the music community. It benefited the musicians. It benefited the artists. It benefited the city. It benefited everything that was local that we were trying to benefit. And my mind, I'm thinking, I don't know what to do now. I just did that thing, and everything I do now is going to seem sort of whatever. Now I'm going to do stuff for myself. It seems so selfish. We did such a good job doing things for other people. Now what am I going to do? I felt lost. Absolutely lost. And I'm still sort of dealing with this a bit. I was very depressed after it. And not because I didn't feel proud. I felt so fucking proud. I was so proud of what we did. But I felt depressed because I just didn't know what to do now. I felt like that was such a pinnacle. The only thing, I wanted to get back to work. But as of right now, I'm just sort of existing. And that's what I wanted to talk about. I know it took a long time to get here, but what I wanted to talk about was the motivation past the thing that you did. The motivation past the accomplishment. That's got to be the hardest part, because I set a lot of micro goals for myself. And I do a lot of things simply because I like doing things creatively. And sometimes I get really into it, and I get to a point where I'm I'm just not having fun anymore. If I'm going to do something that I'm going to put all my heart into, I want to make sure that I enjoy doing it. And the only reason I do that, the only reason I feel that way, is because I've done that my entire life. That's the only thing I've ever done. I've only ever put effort into things that I actually care about. So I've gone 36 years doing this, and I'm not about to quit now. So I wrote a bunch of children's books. People are where's the kids' books? I'm I'm just not having fun writing them. Nothing's coming to mind. And I'm not going to force it. I really enjoyed doing it. I have 5 kids' books you can be able to buy on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description if you want to. It's cool, but I just don't have it in me right now to do it. This festival was my entire life for like 2 or 3 months. It was all I worried about. It was all I did. And everything else was sort of ancillary for the most part. It was like the moment I woke up in the morning was, wait a respectable time to text Hector and say, what do you need from me today? What needs to get done? What's the, where are we at on this? Because I wanted to make sure that everything, was flawless. By the work of everybody that worked on the 561 Music Festival, it was basically flawless. But I walked away feeling so proud, so overjoyed, elated, and also lost. I felt so lost. I just didn't know what to do. I don't know what to do now. And I'm having a really hard time trying to figure out how to be able to, do that. And I think one of the things I need to do is I need to understand that it's not going to be something that I can be able to involve myself in 24/7 all the time. And that type of euphoria is not something that I can be able to have all the time. I want more of this. And I want to try and figure out what I can do to do this more. I don't know. I'm thinking about like going back into booking more shows again and putting together good shows. What I really want to do is I want to get back in the studio. I want to help people create music. But regardless of all that, I think if you're chasing your dream, if you're really going after it, there are going to be moments when you felt like you caught it and you don't know what to do next. But I think the main goal for anybody that's doing anything artistically is to just have the ability to do it forever. And to me, that's the main goal. Yeah, there's definitely, I would say playing at Red Rocks is a micro goal in comparison to playing music for the rest of my life. And playing Red Rocks would be amazing. It may never happen, but it's not going to affect the macro goal of doing this for the rest of my life. And that's what I think should be focused on. Find something that you love to do and just focus on making sure you can be able to do for the rest of your life. And then all the micro goals in between, playing big festivals, opening up for bands, writing records, everything like that. Micro goals. The macro goal is doing this forever. And it was really hard for me to be able to hold on to that because I wanted the micro goal of the festival. But I know the festival is a microcosm of everything else. I know what the festival means, but it only happens once a year. And I can't bog myself down in worrying about that once a year every single time. There are more things to do. There are more goals to achieve. Micro goals are to achieve things. Macro goal is to achieve them forever. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for everybody that came out to the 561 Music Festival. It was incredible. There are tons of articles praising us for how great we did. You're welcome. No, I can't be like that. There are tons of articles that were very gracious about focusing on our goal, which was highlighting locals. And I think that everybody that came did a great job. Everybody that played did a great job. And I'm so unbelievably proud to be a part of the 561 Music family. And I'm so happy to be able to feel like I have a bit of purpose after a really, really long time of feeling super lost in the music scene down here. And I feel like we're going in the right direction. And that's a lot because of you. And I couldn't be happier knowing that we're right around the corner from getting the decision and figuring out whatever it is. If we go back to the amphitheater, if we go back to the brewery, if we rent a field, who knows? Who knows? We'll figure it out. But all I know is that you guys made our dreams possible by allowing us to help you make your dreams possible. And that was amazing. So thank you so much. And I will see you guys next week, maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. Like, subscribe, blah, 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 blah.